My thanks to Bring Me to Life Radio, and welcome to the Cinema Scribe. 'Tis the holiday season, a time for festive cards, friendly gatherings, well, sort of this year, and of course holiday movies. This year, with more of us staying at home for the holidays, Christmas stories are perhaps more important than ever as a way, at best, to celebrate and, at worst, to help kill the tedium of being on lockdown. Nevertheless, holiday movies do offer us a way to be entertained and perhaps enlightened, reminding us of some of the virtues about what this season of giving is supposed to be all about. With that said, however, these films can also be deviously funny, as if shoving a big yet hilarious middle finger in the face of holiday sacred cows that may take themselves a little too seriously. Herewith, then, are some of my favorite movies of the season. Two of my top choices are offerings by legendary filmmaker Frank Capra, the first of which is 1941's Meet John Doe. This sometimes satirical, but nevertheless moving tale tells the story of Long John Willoughby, played by Gary Cooper, a minor league baseball player past his prime who signs on for a newspaper publicity stunt concocted by Ann Mitchell, played by Barbara Stanwyck, a reporter looking to keep her job in the face of stagnant circulation numbers. The stunt calls for the former ballplayer to portray John Doe, a decent but down-and-out everyman who threatens to kill himself on Christmas Eve to protest the sad state of the human condition. It's a claim made in a fictional suicide note written by Mitchell and published in the paper. After publication of the note, readers flood the paper with offers of help to persuade John to reconsider his decision. And soon thereafter, a local circulation-boosting ploy quickly mushrooms into a national, compassion-driven social movement, one that gives hope to a nation still struggling to emerge from the effects of the Great Depression, with wide-ranging implications that no one involved could have foreseen, especially John. Yet, in the face of this now burgeoning story, there are those who look to exploit it, and their unwitting spokesperson, for their own gains. This darkly comical, yet simultaneously heartwarming and hopeful tale speaks volumes about what man can do to both help and harm his fellow man, one that encourages us all to join in the virtues of the holiday season to make the world a better place for all of us. The themes raised in this lesser-known Capra classic couldn't be more relevant today, and we'd be wise to take them to heart. Capra's better-known offering, of course, is the perennial Christmas classic It's a Wonderful Life, a 1946 release that has become synonymous with the holiday season. This cinematic icon, originally a box office flop, has become so entrenched in popular culture that it's hard to imagine anyone not knowing its fabled storyline. Small-town husband, father, and businessman George Bailey, played by James Stewart, has big plans for his life, but obligations always seem to thwart his efforts. And just when he thinks he can crawl out from under those responsibilities, other setbacks arise that keep him from moving forward. But no matter how well George takes his misfortunes in stride, life always seems to keep tossing curveballs his way. The worst of these comes on Christmas Eve morning, when he's suddenly thrown into a severe and unexpected financial crisis that threatens to ruin him, his business, and his family. It launches George into a deep despair and anguished desperation. He even contemplates making the ultimate sacrifice so that a life insurance policy payout will save the day for his heirs. It's when that ominous prospect looms that the time comes for divine intervention, and it arrives in the form of a good-natured, though oft-befuddled cherubic soul named Clarence, played by Henry Travers, George's guardian angel. Clarence has a vested stake in the outcome of George's ordeal, too. As a second-class angel in search of his wings, he must successfully guide George through his turmoil and restore his sense of hope in order to receive them. But how? Clarence's inventive solution reveals that George has indeed lived a wonderful life, something he hadn't previously recognized or appreciated. But with the help of friends and a little assistance from the big guy upstairs, miracles are indeed possible, and all in time for Christmas. In a totally different vein, and one that's decidedly more macabre, yet cynically manages to slip in clips from It's a Wonderful Life, there's the 1984 sci-fi holiday comedy Gremlins. When unsuccessful inventor Randall Peltzer, played by Hoyt Axton, clandestinely purchases a special Christmas gift for his adult son, a cute, cuddly creature known as a Mogwai, he has no idea what he's getting himself into. The same is true for his family and even his entire Rust Belt hometown of Kingston Falls. Like many of Randall's inventions, things quickly go unexpectedly haywire, leaving his son Billy, played by Zach Galligan, his wife Lynn, played by Frances Lee McCain, and Billy's girlfriend Kate, played by Phoebe Cates, to save the day. While some movie lovers debate the legitimacy of this film as a holiday offering, its Christmas setting frequently draws upon its seasonal trappings in telling this story, often in uproariously funny ways. It also makes incisive statements about the crass materialism of the holidays, as well as the role of technology in our lives and how much we have become slaves to it rather than the other way around. If you like your comedies with an edge, this one is definitely for you. Speaking of edgy comedies, another comparable holiday offering can be found in 2017's A Bad Mom's Christmas, the story of three young mothers, played by Mila Kunis, Kristen Bell, and Kathryn Hahn, who are expected to be uber moms just because the holidays have arrived. And the pressure to perform as expected gets upped with the arrival of their mothers, played by Susan Sarandon, Christine Baranski, and Cheryl Hines. There's ample silliness and touches of questionable taste running through the holiday misadventures of this matronly sextet, with plenty of send-ups of Christmas traditions. But the film does make valid points about the expectations we place upon ourselves, particularly our moms, when it comes to seemingly endless requirements that go into the making the perfect holiday. A festive celebration may be all well and good, but do we really need to run ourselves ragged to achieve it, especially when it's often largely for the sake of appearances? Is that what Christmas is really supposed to be about? Do we really need to put ourselves through all that to enjoy the holidays, while overlooking the season's true meaning? There's more food for thought than a plate of Christmas cookies and all that. And this offering serves it up with heaps of belly laughs that would rival the best chortles Santa's capable of. Of course, remembering the virtues of the season is something we should all try to think about, and that comes up loud and clear in 2009's The Blind Side. This fact-based story is generally considered more of a sports movie than a holiday tale, but given its original holiday season release, as well as several holiday sequences that ring true when it comes to driving home the merits of things like charity, compassion, and loving support, I have come to associate this picture with this time of year. The Blind Side tells the story of Michael Oher, played by Quentin Aaron, an essentially homeless black teen who lives on the streets of Memphis, and who is adopted by a well-to-do white family that takes him in and gives him the home, family, love, and support he never had. This is brought about largely by the efforts of feisty family matriarch Leanne Toohey, played by Oscar winner Sandra Bullock, who recognizes a need to be attended to and makes sure to follow through on it, not only by taking care of Michael's material needs, but also helping him to launch on what would eventually become a successful professional football career. It's quite a moving and remarkable story about Oher's personal metamorphosis, as well as that of those he touched. This one is quite the heartwarmer, and I think it's a welcome addition to any holiday movie screening lineup. The holidays are a time of good thoughts, good company, and good cheer. And of course, it's also a time for good movies. Here's hoping you find these offerings well worth your time this holiday season. Wishing you all the best for the holidays and the new year ahead. I'm Brent Marchant, the Cinema Scribe. Thanks for listening.